again. Stay. Yes? Yes? Okay. We're gonna hope this stays. Oh gosh. Hi guys! It is May 1st, which means it's the start of the Asian Readathon, and I am so excited. I have my physical TBR right here, and then I also have a webcomic to read and the group book on audio, which I was listening to all day at work today. I listened to like 9 of the 15 short stories, and I'm loving it so much. I've only not liked one story, which was a little sad because it was one of the Filipino ones, and I am part Filipino, but my 2 favorites were Olivia's Table and The Land of the Morning Calm. Yeah, those are my 2 favorites so far. I've really enjoyed every story though. And I'm so glad that it's the group book because I never would have picked it up otherwise. But now that I am home from work and I can sit down and actually read, I'm going to start with Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. This is my translated work, and it's about a woman working in a convenience store in Japan. And I'm super interested to start it because Japanese culture fascinates me, and I'm visiting Japan in 2 months. Oh my gosh, it's in 2 months. This is crazy. So yeah, I'm really excited to start this. Plus, it's such a beautiful sunny blue day outside. It's making me very happy, and I just want to sit here and read with the sun spilling in through the windows. So that's what I'm gonna do. I finished my first book of the readathon. I did go out partway through it and go to the fish store because we needed to pick up a snail for our aquarium, but I came back and I finished this, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet. It was very odd. A lot of the characters are really not likable. I hated Shiraha a lot, but I also hated a lot of the characters, which is definitely the point because it's a commentary on society, and it's really very true in a dark sort of way. It's funny, but also in a dark way because it's pointing out all of the inconsistencies and the ridiculous expectations of society, especially on a single woman. So it's very thought-provoking and very odd. I think it's very good, but I don't know if I fully like it or not, which is a weird situation to be in. But I finished 1 book for the readathon, and it's only day 1, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's day 2, and I've read a bit more of 1,000 Beginnings and Endings. I have 2 of the stories left, I think, and I'm still really enjoying it. They seem to be told from the perspective of 16-year-old girls, though there were a couple that were told from boys' perspective, and I think they were also 16, so that was interesting. They also all have a sort of sci-fi magical realism fantasy element to them, which I have been enjoying. So I'm still really liking this book, and I doubt that's gonna change with the last 2 stories. I had a bit more time to think about Convenience Store Woman. It's definitely an interesting book. It's not really like anything I've ever read before. It's about this woman who's not considered normal in literally like anyone's sense of the word. She seems to have a disconnect between how she perceives the world and like human empathy and even just personal desires. She doesn't really have any desires of her own, and she doesn't really understand the, I guess, value of human life and humanity. It's really very odd. But it was really interesting, and I found like throughout the book I was just waiting for her to wake up and have some sort of desire, some sort of, I don't know, anything, any emotion, any feeling, any want for anything, and it never happened. And I was thinking about that afterward, and I was thinking, if I'm waiting for her to wake up, then how am I any different from the characters in the book who are trying to cure her? And the author is using these characters as a sort of commentary on society and society's expectations on what we perceive as normal. And then I realized that I'm doing the exact same thing. I expect a person to have their own wants and their own desires and some sort of motivation for doing literally anything, and this character just didn't have that. And I don't know if it's a product of our society that I think in this way, or if it's just underlying humanity, and that sort of comes into question in this book as well. So it's really just really weird and confusing and quirky and really interesting too. So I don't know, I definitely think it's an interesting read, and I'm not mad that I picked it up. But I am going to start my next book today, and that's The Black Tides of Heaven by J.Y. Yang. This is my intersectional choice, and it's a fantasy novella, and I'm super excited for that because I don't think I've read any Asian fantasy ever. That's so sad. That's a whole genre that I'm missing out on. I need more of that, so I'm going to start here. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I'm really excited. So I only ended up reading one chapter of The Black Tides of Heaven yesterday because I got caught up in an anime and I binged the whole thing. It was so good. It was Netju no Susume. It's about a woman who's an MMO junkie. It's called Recovery of an MMO Junkie in English, and it's just so cute and so fun. Oh, it's adorable. And if you watched it, please let me know. And if you haven't watched it, please watch it because I need to squeal about it with someone. It was so good. I mean, it wasn't a masterpiece. There were like some things that were kind of like iffy and kind of out there, but still it was just so adorable and it made me so happy. And yeah, I ended up watching all of that in one night instead of reading. I don't really regret it because it was so much fun. And then tonight is Fruits Basket, and I'm so excited. It's episode 5. And I know that one of the scenes that I really enjoy from the manga is going to happen in this episode, and I'm so excited. Oh my god. So many good anime things happening. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But other than my anime freakout just now, I actually finished 1,000 Beginnings and Endings at work today. I finished listening to all of it, and it was so good. I really enjoyed that so much more than I thought I would. I mean, I expected I would like it after hearing what it was about, but I had never heard of it before, and it was never on my radar. So I'm so thankful that it was the group pick for this readathon because I loved it so much. All of the stories were really interesting and really well done, and they go into what the original tales were after the end of the story. So you get to see what the original is versus the retelling, and I really enjoyed that. I found it fascinating going through all of these different cultures and learning one of their various myths and legends, and I think all of the retellings were really interesting and really well done, and there was a lot of really amazing writing that I'm going to need to look into these authors because that I want to read more from them. Plus supporting Asian authors, so like why not? And yeah, I'm so happy with this book. I really, really liked it. So that means I have 2 challenges done for this readathon, and I'm pretty happy with that. I might start the webcomic today, maybe. I'm kind of in the mood for it, so we'll see. Okay, unrelated to reading, but the new Fruits Basket episode was so cute. I am loving all of the additions they're making in this anime. They're adding in a bunch of new like interactions from that weren't in the manga, and it's so good. I really like the changes they're making. It expands more on the character dynamics with different people, and I love it so much. Ugh, Yuki and Kyo are my babies, and it was so good. Oh my god. But okay, now that that's done, I think I'm going to start reading My Giant Nerd Boyfriend.
Listen to the ending.
Hey, yo.
I am tired. We went on a hike this morning and it was very steep and challenging, but also perfect preparation for Fuji that we're planning to do when we go to Japan in a couple months. So that was good. And I started listening to Tai-Pan by James Clavell. Actually, I have it here because you're sitting on my bookshelf. Haha. So I started listening to this on audiobook, but it's very dense and a lot of characters come up and a lot of like history rundowns that I didn't really follow very much. So I will probably need to like reread what I listened to. I didn't listen to very much actually, so it's not too bad. I wanted to listen to something as I was walking, and I finished 1,000 Beginnings and Endings yesterday, so I didn't have that to listen to. But after coming back, I just finished My Giant Nerd Boyfriend just now. I read most of it yesterday. I think I got to like 172 chapters, episodes. I don't know what they are. I got to 172 last night, and then I finished the rest of it just now, and it's so good. It's really funny and cute and relatable, and definitely relatable for me because I have a giant nerd boyfriend as well, and I am very small, so there's a huge height difference, and we have all of the same problems, so that was really funny to read and really entertaining. They're cute little slice of life snippets that I am definitely going to continue keeping up to date with. I've read up to 298? Yeah, I think that's the last one that's been posted as of today. I would definitely recommend it. It's really funny and it's free, so why not?
Listen to the ending.
Hey, yo.
Yay! I'm in a new location. So we went to New York to visit my parents for the week. We took a red eye last night and got in this morning, and it's like 2 o'clock now. We're super tired, and we're gonna go out into the city, but I wanted to update my reading. I don't know if I mentioned, but I did start The Black Tides of Heaven. I haven't gotten very far in it yet, but it's very confusing, but intriguing and interesting, so I want to continue it. I don't know when, but I will. I did read 2 mangas. They were both 1 volume. I read Ganbare Nakamura-kun by Senyui? I don't remember who that's by. I will insert it. And then I also read Yumakoi by Anashin. There's a vacuum right outside the door. And they were both really good. I enjoyed both of them. Ganbare Nakamura-kun is about a boy who's trying to become friends with his crush, and it's so sweet and innocent and adorable. And Yumakoi is 4 short stories about finding love, I guess. It's typical shoujo high school manga stuff. They're both really cute and really adorable, and I really enjoyed them. I'm back. That was a very fun trip, but very exhausting. We got back really late last night and I got basically no sleep, so that was fun and I'm very tired and yeah. I ended up finishing the Black Tides of Heaven on the plane back. This was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think the world was really interesting and I think the plot was also really interesting, but I wish there was more to it. I feel like I didn't fully connect to these characters because you don't get a lot of time with them. It is a novella. It's very short. It's written as little like snippets throughout the duration of this character's life, so you don't really see them very much and you don't see them, well, you see them grow up and you see how they change, but you don't really see too deeply into that, which I would have liked more because I felt like I didn't really know the characters that well, and that also translated to not really knowing the motivations for certain plot points because I didn't fully understand the characters and their motivations, and I didn't fully understand the political and like societal aspects of everything as well. So I just wish there was a little bit more. I feel like I want this to be a bigger book, and that would make it incredible because I really like the world. I don't fully understand how the magic works or how anything is set up like socially and politically, like I was saying, so I wish I knew more about it. So that's my only complaint with it. It was really enjoyable and interesting, but I never felt fully attached to it because I wasn't attached to the characters and I wanted a bit more explanation for things, but it was very good, and I definitely do plan to continue with the series because I'm really interested in this world. And then after that, I picked up Empress Orchid by Anchee. This is the last book in my challenge for the Asian Readathon, so that's cool. I read 2 chapters on the plane before getting tired and trying to fall asleep and being unable to fall asleep, so that was annoying. And then I ended up reading a bit more of my tea book, but not very much. This is a little weird for me. The way that it's written is really like it's telling rather than showing, and it feels more like a really impersonal historical account rather than being from the perspective of this woman who will eventually be the Empress. And it goes in a weird like time jumpy, like it's like she's in the future telling this story, and so she'll make random references to like, oh, later on when I become an Empress I do this blah blah blah, and then she'll go back to the original story, and they're like really random bits of like the beginning of a paragraph or something, and it kind of like throws me off a little because you don't really feel like you're getting to know this character as herself in whatever timeline she's talking about, which would be when she's 17. You don't really feel like she's a person, or I don't really feel like she's a person, which is throwing me off, but I am interested in the history of this time period, so I will continue reading it, and I also want to complete my challenge. I have some mixed feelings about this for right now. I mean, I'm only 2 chapters in, 22 pages, so there's a lot more to go, and we'll see if I change my mind. These pages are actually like really dense. After the first couple books of this readathon, it feels like this is going to take me a very long time because my other books were very short. I mean, I had my novella, and then I had this like tiny little, basically a novella, and then short stories and webcomics. So like everything flew by really fast, which is why I am done with it on the 13th already, and I just have one more challenge to go for this. What the heck is this? Oh my gosh, I don't know. One more challenge to go for this readathon, so it could take me the rest of the month to finish the last one challenge, but that's fine. That's what this was made for. I'm really happy with my progress so far, and I think I'm going to end this vlog here because I'm sure it's going to be very long. I have so many clips from New York to edit. Oh my gosh, it's going to be crazy. I hope you enjoyed it though, because I had a lot of fun making it, and I had a lot of fun on my trip and reading these books, and I'm very happy with where my reading is right now. So that's it. Let me know if you're participating in the Asian Readathon, and I will see you later. Bye!